Hey folks, it's Ardwulf. Welcome. We're going to do a quick video here because I don't want to clutter up the live stream with this, but I do want to get a little bit of a comparison here with Normandy 44. This is a game from GMT Games and designer Mark Simonich. It is a really good game, and it covers the Normandy campaign from the initial invasions on June 6th to June 27th, if I'm not mistaken. Is that correct? That is correct. So if we zoom all the way out, we'll see that we don't really get the Falaise pocket stuff going on here, but frankly, in the historical campaign, on June 27th, the Germans were still hanging on to Caen, so I'm not sure that's much of a problem. But it is a very good game. It can be played, at least the 7-turn mini campaign can be played in a single sitting, probably 4 hours or so, I would say, and then the campaign game's probably 15 to 20, but I'm maybe not the best person to ask that because we were looking up a lot of rules when I played it face to face. So let us hop in and see how the airdrops and beach landings work in Normandy 44. This is far simpler and far more abstract than we see in the Battle for Normandy. So by the way, there is a live stream of the Battle for Normandy scheduled this week on Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern, so check that out if you want to see more of that. We're going to be doing the beach landings at that time. So this is a very simple process. We'll pull up the charts, and there are a set of dedicated invasion turn tables. Now this CRT is basically the same CRT as the regular CRT, but you don't compute odds, you just roll on the appropriate column. But first we will roll for airborne scatter. So like all games on the Normandy campaign that I have looked at, there is a special sequence that happens before the first actual game turn to simulate the air landings and the beach landings. So in this case, we do two little subphases. We do the air landing subphase, we check our airborne units for scatter, and we do the beach landings. And the whole process should take less than 15 minutes, as you'll see. And this is why I didn't want to take the time in the live stream, but I still wanted to get it on video. So we're going to start, we're going to go west to east here with the 507th. So we're going to roll a d6. This is the 82nd Airborne. We have rolled a 6, so the 82nd Airborne has dropped clean, so there's no ill effects from this drop. So we can move on to the 508th, where we'll roll a d6, and we got a 2. Okay, so this is an S2 result. So the unit is going to take 2 step losses and be scattered. So we'll lose a step, and it will go to a reduced strength regiment, and we'll lose another step, and it will go to a cadre. And we have to track, it's not important for the purposes of this video, but I'll show you anyway. We have to track airborne replacement, so we've lost 2 airborne steps. So that's important, and we have to scatter them. So we will mark them as scattered. Scattered does not mean in this game that they have not landed in the hex that they thought they were going to land in. It means that they have lost some degree of unit cohesion. So they can defend with their full combat strength, but they cannot attack, and they also cannot form ZOC bonds, build improved positions, or take replacements. Now ZOC bonds are like one of the signature features of these Simonich operational level games, and I'm not going to talk about it in this video because I think it would take more detail than I want to take the time. Would like this video to be fairly short, so we'll talk about that later, possibly as much later as when Holland 44 comes out, which is definitely on my list. So let us roll for the 505th. We've rolled a 3. Pull the chart back up. They are S1, so they are going to take 1 step loss, and we'll track that step loss. And they're going to be scattered as well. Okay, now we'll go on to the 101st, which gets their own column. They will drop a little, statistically they should drop a little bit cleaner. We rolled a 4, so the 502nd is going to just be scattered. The 506th is going to take a step loss and be scattered. And the 501st is going to land clean. So this is not bad for the Americans, statistically speaking. So the odds are that one of these units from the 101st is not going to get scattered, and odds are that none of the units from the 82nd are going to get scattered, and we got 2 cleanly landed units here. And we lost a total of, what, 3 steps, which isn't too bad. So let's go on to the British landings. Let's move this over here. Now, I don't know a ton about the British landing, so I am not 100% sure what we are simulating when we have 2 brigades and a battalion here. So, but I can tell you that this brigade is sort of the battle for Pegasus Bridge is kind of subsumed into the action in this hex, because this is where Pegasus Bridge would be on this map. So let's roll a d6, and these guys get their own column too. We roll a 4, so the 5th Brigade lands cleanly. The 8th Battalion of the 3rd Brigade rolled a 1, which means they take a step loss and are scattered. And then the 3rd Brigade rolls a 3, so they are just scattered. So this could have been... the British rolled maybe slightly worse than average, but the Americans, I think, rolled slightly better than average. So this is not, all in all, not such a bad... result for the airborne landings. So that is all of the airborne landing process right there. So we're going to go to the beach landings, and this is also pretty quick. So we got first wave and second wave units here, okay? So we're going to break these stacks up a little bit. Not sure why Vassal keeps doing this to me, but so we're going to land at Utah first, and we will land with the infantry first. And we are just going to roll on the invasion CRT on the Utah Beach column here. So we'll roll. We got a 3. So we have an A1, D1, advance 1. Okay. So what this means is the defender's going to take a step loss. So these are German strong points here, with the red hex and the hashing inside, and then the sort of loop curved rectangle or square around the edge of the counter indicates that that unit does not throw a zone of control. So we don't have to worry about that. So we got an A1, D1. So these units only have 1 step, so we will eliminate this. And we'll go to delete. And then the 8th Regiment will lose 1 step and will advance 1. So the advance from the beach is whatever the table says it is. And then this unit doesn't have any resistance to do, so it will advance 1 step as well. Now, the DD tanks get their own special table. So we rolled to see if the DD tanks, that's the direct drive tanks, they're made to be redesigned or modified to be amphibious, and it did not work that well. However, this particular battalion lands cleanly, and the fact that we have armor in this stack is really very valuable. So that's that whole thing. That's Utah Beach right there. So we will move to Pointe du Hoc. There's a special process for this. So basically, the 2nd Rangers make the attack. We rolled a 6 on the all others table. That's a D1, advance 2. Okay, so we will delete the defender. The 2nd Rangers will take Pointe du Hoc. And I believe this, this symbol here, which is at Pointe du Hoc, indicates German fixed artillery that can interfere with Allied naval power. So you do want to take these out. So they can advance another hex. So the question is, where do they wish to advance? I think we're going to move to reinforce Omaha, actually. So this is destroyed because I walked in there. So we could actually probably mark this, or just remember that, because there's only like 4 of these on the map. Now we have to check for the 5th Rangers, because historically the 5th Rangers missed the reinforced signal at Pointe du Hoc and ended up landing in Omaha, like in one of the subsequent waves. So we roll for this, and I believe we rolled 1 to 3, if I'm not mistaken. Let me double check that. 1 to 3, I think they land at Pointe du Hoc. Yep, they do. So they do land at Pointe du Hoc, and they can advance 2 as well. So they'll go here as well, bone that up a little bit. So we'll move on to actual Omaha, where we will attack in Charlie and Dog sectors here. And we'll roll. And we have a 2 on the Omaha column. That's an A2D1. Okay, that's not good. So we're going to lose a step here. We're going to lose another step here. And we are going to mark 2 American infantry replacements. But this strong point is destroyed. And we will advance onto the beach with the 115th Regiment at full strength, and we'll roll for the DD tanks. They have rolled a 6, so they land clean, actually, which is nice. And then we'll roll in Easy and Fox sectors as well. So we'll lead with the 16th. That's the 18th. We rolled a 2. That's another A2D1, so that's not optimal. But at least we eliminate. You can on Omaha, you can actually just take an attacker loss and have to roll again, and it's not cool when that happens. So we're going to lose 2 steps here, and we'll mark the 2 infantry steps lost. And we will delete the German strong point, and we'll roll these guys in. And we'll roll for the DD tanks. They rolled a 6, so they land clean as well. So as far as armor goes here, we're rolling great. So we now move to the Commonwealth sector and the British beach at Gold. And this basically works exactly the same way. So we'll lead with the 231st in Jig sector. And we'll roll. And these guys go on the all others column. So they rolled a 5. That's an A1, D1 advance 2. That's very advantageous in this particular case. So let's get rid of the defender. Let's take our step here. And we can advance 2 here. So the question is, now there is an operational boundary line. That's this dotted line here. And the American units can't go east of the line, and British units can't go west of the line. So the question is, do the British, are they going to drive for Caen? We are going to, I think, move here. They will have to stop. They would have to stop here because of the ZOC of this unit. We can move this guy here as well, and we will. And then we roll for the DD tanks. We've rolled a 1, so the DD tanks lose a step, and that's just the results of this table here. But they can go here as well. You know what? I think what we're going to do here is leave the reduced strength there and do that. I am not, as far as I'm aware, forced to advance 2 hexes. So let's roll for king. We rolled a 2. That is an exchange. So we're going to lose a step here. We're going to delete this unit because these guys only have 1 step. And the exchange is advance 1, so we're going to pile all these guys. And I think the stacking limit is 3 combat units, but it might be 2 brigades or regiments. And then we'll roll for the DD tanks. We rolled a 2, so they're going to lose a step. Okay, but these guys are pretty well positioned to knock on that door right there. So we'll have to be satisfied with that. So the Canadians at Juno. We've got some DD tanks here as well. And we've got 1 at Swords. So let's roll for Juno. And again, this has Omaha gets its own column, Utah gets its own column, everything else, all the British beaches roll on all others. So I don't know why it doesn't say British beaches, but whatever. So we'll roll for a Corsair. On the all others, we've got a D1 advance 2. Okay, so we'll delete the defender. Now we have an advance 2 here, but this guy, the way I understand it, this German unit of the 7/16th will throw a zone of control, so these guys have to stop here. So I believe that they cannot actually make a 2 hex advance. Now, if that happens here, they can, or potentially. So we will roll for the DD tanks. Hit the wrong button there. 5. So these guys land clean. We lost 1 step and 1 step. What did we just roll on that? We rolled a 6, so that's D1 advance 2. Okay, so we only lost 1 British step, so we need to remember to track this. If we were playing a campaign, that would be quite important. For this demonstration, it's not that important. So I think we didn't roll for this yet. We didn't. So let's see what the Canadians do on Nan. Of course, we do have a British commando unit here as well, which is a whole brigade. So we rolled a 5. That's an A1 D1 advance 2. Okay, that's actually a pretty optimal result for on this particular beach. So we're going to delete the strong point. We're going to take, let's see here. We're going to take the hit on the infantry division. I believe the infantry division has to take the hit too. So we'll lose a step there. We'll mark a Canadian actually infantry replacement, and we get 2 advance out of this. So we're going to go here. Oh, wait a minute. Let's put that here for now. So I think we're going to go here. That's the way we'll break this up. And then we roll for the DD tanks. And that's a 1, so they lose a step. And they can advance 2 as well, and we'll advance them there. So you see how much faster, well, you're going to see come Thursday anyway, how much faster this goes than it does in Normandy 44, or the Battle for Normandy, which, you know, you'd expect, because the Battle for Normandy is a battalion level game. This is a regimental level game, and the scale of the games is vastly different. A regimental game doesn't necessarily have to have this particular map scale. It just happens to in this particular case. So let's go to Sword Beach, where we have an infantry division, or infantry brigade here. Let's give it a roll, see what happens. We got a 5. A 5 on all others is an A1D1 advance 2. So we will delete the German strong point. We will lose a step here. And we do get a 2 hex advance. Now the strong points can't move, which is significant. So we are going to advance this unit. We're going to advance the commandos as well. And we need to roll for the DD tanks. And they rolled a 5, so they land clean. They'll go in this hex as well. And then we get some gliders that roll in turn 2. So historically there were gliders that landed on the morning of June 6th, but those are kind of below the level of the game, including apparently the glider unit that took Pegasus Bridge. So Normandy 44, I wanted to get in front of you the airborne drop and beach landing sequences to this game, because I'm going to be talking in upcoming videos and the streams, which I guess I'm going to start to do more of now, those processes in the Battle for Normandy and in Atlantic Wall. So stay tuned for that. There will be more video, and don't forget the live stream on Thursday, so tune in. I will see you next time. Thanks for watching.